And of course, some of the big headlines this morning that the EU sort of fully trying to reopen to U.S. visitors. But I guess the big question is, can I still afford a flight, or are my flights now priced out of my price range to Europe?
You know what, Taylor? The best deals this summer are to Europe. We're seeing $1,000 one-way business class fares to Europe, and it's also a great time to use those frequent flyer miles. So many of us have them. We're hoarding them because we haven't traveled that much. So use them now, especially because you can cancel your frequent flyer mile tickets and get them all back and all your taxes and fees back, which is much better than getting a voucher if you pay for a ticket.
Interesting. I mean, you mentioned business class there. Where are we in terms of the return of the business customer? We have heard that those are the big ticket items, but that is nowhere coming back from the corporate side. Is this all leisure still at this moment?
It's mostly leisure travel, although every major CEO of an airline that I've talked to says that business travel is coming back much quicker than they anticipated. As we know, the big banks are going to be calling people back to the office, usually after Labor Day. And business travel is going to come back in a different form. I know at my company, we're not going to be doing senseless meetings that we could do over Zoom, but we're going to have longer, more impactful team building meetings at resorts. So I think it's going to come back a lot quicker than we thought, but it's going to look different. That Monday to Thursday grind might change a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. I was actually speaking with the CEO of Marriott International yesterday, as well as the CEO of Trip.com, and they talked about this idea of sort of, I guess, hybrid type travel, where you're going to see much more of a blend between that leisure and business customer here. How does that sort of change at all, I guess, the way that some of the airlines and the hotels sort of price their offerings and, I guess, sort of adjust their offerings to deal with those types of customers?
Yeah, planes are full these days. They're still, upgrading people into first class. The business class total fares are down. I think we're going to see a return to profitability or not stemming the losses this quarter for most of the airlines, but they're not those big ticket fares, the $10,000 business class fares to Shanghai, right?
Yeah.
So definitely the airlines are looking for more ways to raise revenue. A key way they did that during the pandemic was selling billions of dollars worth of frequent flyer miles to the credit card companies. And what we're seeing is huge offers for consumers in the credit card market. We're looking at 100,000-mile offers to get a single credit card. I think there's 7 different cards offering that. Yeah. So I think we're seeing a shift in the way they're accounting for the revenue, but making it up through co-brand partnerships is a key way to do that.
And do you think we'll get back to a stage anytime soon where we will see some of those offers dangled a little bit more out there? I mean, I hear a lot about cost issues with a lot of these companies. They're obviously having to pay a little bit more for workers here. And there's this idea here that in order to protect their margins, that means they can't offer the same type of discounts that they did in the past.
Absolutely. We're going to see more ancillary fees, even though the airlines did, get rid of change fees over the pandemic. We've already seen them start to roll that back, right? In May, most airlines now won't give you that free change if you book basic economy, which is what most leisure travelers are booking, that cheapest fare. We've also seen some bogus fees from hotels for service fees, cleaning fees. Certainly in the car rental space, we're seeing exorbitant rates and fees. So travel prices are creeping up. This summer is not the summer of $40 fares across the country like we saw a year ago. So, I think the airlines are very smart at coming up with ways to bring in that ancillary revenue.
Quickly here, Brian, where's the hot spot to go this summer?
I mean, we're still looking domestic. Key West, Miami, Ooh. Hawaii is through the roof. So many people just want to travel. And even though Europe is opening, I'm excited to go next month. It's been really confusing to figure out what the rules are. EU rules versus individual country rules. Certain countries will release information on Facebook, and it's, luckily at the Points Guy, we break this all down for our readers, but to the average consumer, it's still way too confusing to go abroad. So, and we're seeing huge amounts of capacity added to the Caribbean for Q3, actually more than Q3 2019. So people are headed to the beach. We all need a break.